scenting out. Oh yeah, Mike. Oh yeah.
Someday,
A little bit there.
someday,
Speaker over.
someday.
I was picking you up way out there too. That's funny. Burning the fat today. I've actually been starting to feel, I don't know if it's the ketosis state that I'm feeling, but I can tell that I'm burning body fat. You get kind of that like pinchy feeling.
Really?
Like in your tummy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you're actually hungry and you're not just eating for the sake of eating.
It's funny you mentioned that because it's like the types, because I've been doing a lot of that intermittent fasting and different fasting, like windowed eating and stuff, because it's so good for health and longevity and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even good for viruses and sickness and everything. It's good for everything pretty much. Like, it's incredible how healthy it is to not eat food sometimes. But what was I already got lost. Oh yeah, the hunger. So like the feeling is like when you're not actually starving, but you're just hungry. It's not that intense. It's just like this mild little like,
yeah,
just like this little like a little gnaw here and there. Then it goes away, and it's like not that.
That's
bad.
exactly it.
Yeah.
You can tell when you're really hungry because then the stomach starts talking to you.
Yeah, and the cool thing, like if you're, so I think I talked about this before, but I was, if you're fat adapted, that means, because fat is your body's favorite fuel source, but if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, then your body's not used to running primarily off of fat. When it does run primarily off of fat and you eat low enough carbohydrates, then the transition to fasting is very not painful.
Mm-hmm.
So you already transitioned. Since your body's already used to running on fat, then when you stop eating, your body's still running on your body fat. It's like a smooth transition. Whereas if you're used to carbs, then you stop eating, then your blood sugar crashes. Your body's like, what the hell's going on? And it takes a few days for it to like adjust and like start creating its own energy. You can get that done ahead of time just by changing your diet.
Nice.
And then the fasting's not as... The problem with me with fasting is, even though I think fat adapted, because when I do fast, I don't really get starving ever. I just get like very minor hunger gnaws on occasion, which is like hardly any problem at all.
Right.
The main problem for me is I start thinking about how good food is. I'm not hungry, but I'm like, oh man, food is so good. And that's what does. So it's more of a mind thing than a body thing for me, I guess.
Yeah.
But we've all got our battles. Anyway, none of that was funny.
That's a good segue into one of the topics that I had there. The vagal. Is it vagal?
Yeah, the nerve.
Yeah.
Vagus nerve.
Vagus nerve. Yeah, well, there's two. So there's a left and a right. And apparently this nerve goes...
Let's turn on the light over here. Yeah.
It's directly connected from your brain to your gut.
Yep.
And I happened upon this because I had a migraine on, I think, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered why I puked. Because it happens when I get really bad migraines.
Oh.
And apparently it has something to do with that nerve.
Vagal.
And it's so weird, the effect, like the direct effect that food and other substances have on your brain. And it can change your way of thinking just by eating healthier. And, but then that got me down, like, is there funny food? Can I be funnier if I pick out certain foods? Because I did a whole deep dive, and there's like a bunch of stuff that these nerves affect your mood, everything from like balance to like your thought process.
Yeah, I've heard about that actually. I heard about that in the news and science over the last year or so. I've heard multiple stories about like the newly discovered gut-brain connection and how your gut basically has its entire own nervous system that has like more nerves than the rest of your entire body, which kind of makes sense because it's like your brain is your higher executive I mean, there's some obviously some very base functions in there too, but more primitive than your brain is like your like body's like fuel source. Like we need calories in, turn it into energy, live. Like that's like almost your most basic brain in your stomach. And the brain is built on top of that of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a two, because, and the other weird, so that it's also interesting how your brain is at one end of the spine and the other end of your spine is kind of in your gut where your second brain is. So it's almost like you have this major highway of nerves connecting your two brains.
Yeah, that's where they get the name Vegas from, I guess. I'm not sure of the origin, but it means winding. And it's one of the longest connections from your brainstem near the medulla oblongata.
Dude, when I used to...
so that's why people get hangry, too. Because it's right.
And that's another thing that won't happen if you're fat adapted. You will not get hangry. That's what carbohydrate diet and then being hungry does to you.
That's funny.
But, and you know how like you'll eat, like some people like when they get drunk, they'll go and eat a ton of food.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's something like with the gut brain, because the alcohol is in your gut and it's making it feel good. And so it's like, let's eat a bunch of food. Because anyway, the whole point is when I drink the opium tea, every single time, like normally growing up my whole life, I've never been that hungry most of the time. And I've always been pretty skinny. But dude, I would drink that opium tea and I would eat all day long. My stomach would be like, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. And I would just keep eating and eating until I was like totally stuffed. And then I would be like satisfied.
I wonder if that's because your body thinks it's not supposed to be. You're trying to metabolize it out. Because I feel like that's where
it definitely
I am
is,
with alcohol.
Sure.
Is like I just, for whatever reason, hangover food has to be extra greasy, and I think that's because the fats do something.
Fat is the healthiest thing you can eat.
Yeah.
As long as it's from a non-toxic source.
Well, that was the problem.
And I've heard that even if fat is from like a relatively toxic source, your body still does like is so benefited by fat that it's still worth it most of the time, even from unhealthy sources to eat more fat. If you're not getting a lot of fat, you're better off having low quality than none.
Yeah. Ronnie Mac's grease joint.
Yeah.
My dad used to call the McDonald's Ronald McDonald, Ronnie Mac's grease joint.
Dude, it's funny, like over the last 20 years, the kind of like health and wellness revolution, and how like it used to be like a normal thing to go to McDonald's, but now people are like, it's almost like divided into two political camps, I feel like, where it's like either like that's disgusting, I would never go there, like it's so unhealthy and bad, and then I forgot where I was going with this, and then the other people are like,
they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like a thing where they're like...
Well, back in the day, we touched upon this in another episode too, is like food now is not food back then. Like they used to use actual, what we would call tallow now, like actual animal fat. Yeah, to fry their foods. And now it's like hydrogenated soybean oil or something like that.
Seed oils.
Terrible stuff.
They are.
So even like the fast food, even though it wasn't healthy, it was much healthier back in the day.
Yeah. And now after I've been learning so much about diet, and even though it's a controversial topic and like talk to 10 different people, they'll tell you 10 different things are healthy to eat. But this one guy, Sten Ekberg, I've been on, I just believe everything he says because he talks so calmly.
Yes, my lord.
He looks...
Preach.
If a guy is telling you what's healthy and he looks healthy, like I tend to... Anyway, whatever. So,
right.
But anyway, the whole point is like carbs are bad because they turn into sugar as soon as they enter your body. Sugar's even worse because it's already sugar when it enters your body. And the whole reason they're bad is because they spike insulin. And then when you spike insulin enough times, it leads to diabetes and diabetes-like symptoms.
Diabetes.
And it makes you put on fat too, because the insulin makes you store the sugar as fat because it's an immediate energy source that if it's not used right away, it's gone. Whereas, and so like McDonald's, the fries are, I mean, the grease in them is good, but it's a lot of carbohydrates still in the fries. So those two kind of cancel out. Then the drink is like all sugar, and then the bun is all carbohydrates. The ketchup and sauce is all sugar. It's like, so you've basically got your patty and the oil in the fries are the two healthiest things there. Everything else is like pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's mostly just carbs and sugar. But anyway, where are we talking?
I don't know. We're food obsessed today.
Well, yeah. When I quit smoking weed for good and get on that lion's mane again, I'm going to never forget anything again. When I was doing that for a while, my memory was so good. It really does work when you quit the weed, and I mean that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, short-term memory loss is quite real.
Anyway, yeah, it's just funny how they divided into like a controversial. It didn't used to be a controversial restaurant when I was a kid.
No.
At all.
No. It was like, we're going out to eat. You
Yeah.
know, it was like a lower class restaurant. It was an actual like restaurant.
Yeah.
But now you can even see that it's like have you been into a McDonald's? There's very minimal seating.
And they try to make it look upscale now.
Yeah, kind of.
It was kind of more comfy back when they weren't trying so hard.
Right. I feel like it is more like drive-through oriented.
For sure. Most people prefer the drive-through these days. Definitely agree with that. Anyway.
Anywho.
We'll clip this part and put it at the end, and we'll start with the comedy.
There's some solid parts. Do whatever you want. It's all having fun.
So there's a generational thing. This is my first comedy thing I wrote down. Is there a generational thing with there obviously is, the way people talk and their tone of voice and the way amount of syllables they'll put in a word. Because like I remember when I was younger, like when I was a kid, when SpongeBob was like first getting really popular, and me and my brother and sister would talk about it. I love the jellyfishing ones. That's the best.
Yes, yeah.
It's so silly. But my mom we'd be talking about SpongeBob, and my mom would be like, SpongeBob? We'd be like, no, Mom, it's SpongeBob. And she'd be like, SpongeBob. And be like, she can't get it either way.
She couldn't find that.
It's either two words medium. Or like, yeah, there's no SpongeBob for her. It's either SpongeBob or SpongeBob. It's just like, I don't know. But anyway, like the tone. So I was like trying to nap today. My dad comes over to my door. And by the way, it sucks to have doors that just no sound is blocked at all.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's like someone
get rid of that glass and put up some foam or something.
I do. It's like when people can touch. It's just there's no boundary when like you're trying to rest. It's like people coming right up to you and just like talking to you while you're trying to rest. That's what the equivalent of having no doors.
Oh, it's like having kids.
Exactly. Well, that's what happens. That's exactly what it's like. The older your parents get, the more like kids they become.
It is. Everything comes full circle. But pretty soon they're going to be shitting and pissing themselves.
I know. Well, luckily my parents are health nuts, and so they're doing pretty good. But
yeah.
I'm very lucky because of that. But anyway, my dad is like, I'm trying to take a nap before the podcast because like I'm all tired and I got rings under my eyes. And I hear, "Hey, James." And I'm like, oh shit! Like
that crescendo,
yes.
Like a question. It's like
that tone makes me so worried because like the only time I'd ever use a tone like that is if I found like a dead body or like some crazy like dwarf porno stash, like in my friends. I'd be like, Donnie, like what? Like that's the only appropriate time for that tone.
I'm concerned here.
Like if you're looking for a pair of pliers, that's not the tone I would use.
Right. I'd be like, that what happened? He was looking. Oh my. Yeah. Completely unwarranted.
I think it's a generational thing. I don't know because it's like there's a lot of more monotone these days, so that's what I'm putting it out to. But he's like, because like if I was looking for a pair of pliers, the way I would ask somebody in their room, I'd be like, hey James, you in there? What's up, James? I wouldn't be like, James.
Like, yeah, it's like this, and like, there's like a certain anonymity about it too. It's like, what are you getting at?
It's like aggressive.
Yeah, I would just say what I needed outright. I'd be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
James, you seen the pliers?"
I
You
mean,
know, state my business right off the bat.
but he's like, I can't find a single pair of pliers in this whole house. Like, wow, really, Dad? I don't remember asking for the current plier count. I was trying to take a nap here.
10 millimeter socket, I feel like, is the worst. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
plague that everybody encounters.
Dude, you order a pack of those and you just go around and give them to everybody for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Even the mechanics, you stop by, here's your 10, here's your 10. They're like, yeah.
It is. It
I know.
always goes missing. It's like a phenomenon.
So anyway, yeah, I was like just getting into a good nap that I never got back into after getting up, but I forced myself up, which was very painful. And I went and found him a pair of pliers. But yeah, he gets easily defeated, which I feel bad about.
Yeah.
It's like that typical. It's almost like, have you seen Married with Children?
Again, going back to like the child state, Manny gets easily defeated.
Yeah, yeah, I feel bad. We talked about this before about like how I hate it when people give up on things, especially when they give up like way too easy. Because like anyway, but that was the first funny thing. James,
Hey, James.
like that just makes me so. I just think something really bad happened, or like something like
my bowels are hanging out of my stomach.
I feel like I'm about to be kicked out of the house, or like somebody got in a car accident. It's like, don't use that tone. That's a very worrying tone. That's not a I need pliers tone.
Right.
Oh, so you know what I wanted to do? I want to try skits and like characters of every joke topic we do. We don't have to do it for every single one, but
well, I'm
what if we did like? What if you were my Scottish dad, looking for a pair of pliers, and you were calling through my door and you didn't know what I was doing in there? Then what would my character be?
Scottish dad.
You're a Scottish dad looking for pliers, and I'm gonna be, what should I be? Indian or
how does this family?
Let's just try it.
All right,
just try
mixed
it.
family, heavily mixed. Family.
Okay, so.
Oi, James, you got the pliers in there, lad?
Oh, Dad, he's just sleeping. Oh, Dad, please don't. I'm very tired. Dad, I was sleeping.
Oi, I feel like this is your second nap today. Get up, James.
Have you been keeping track of the number of pliers in the house by chance, Father?
What right is it of mine to keep track of the pliers? I just need them now.
There's no pliers in the house. That's his line.
There's no pliers in the whole house.
Oh, Dad, please, just leave me. I just need to sleep a little bit longer. I'll find you. Okay, I get up. I found you pliers from the tools here, Dad, please. I want to sleep now. Please leave me alone.
Alright, I'll leave you alone this time, but don't go getting too crazy with the sleep. I might need something else.
Okay, Dad, thank you. Okay, I think he gone, honey. Please and boob now.
Oh.
Doesn't that make it so much better?
Yeah, and those are really good too because the Scottish is very abrasive, I feel like.
Yeah,
and then like Indian is like very passive.
Yeah.
Except when they get angry and they start swearing constantly.
Oh, no, you are fucking.
No, you're fucking, my friend.
You are fucking.
Fucking bloody hell.
One day. Oh, we've got to do our intro. One day. Maybe we should do that real quick and then get back to this list.
Yes. I think
all
that's
right.
good.
One day we'll do enough cheek pumps. Or can you? Is it possible to do it? Yeah, it must be possible.
No, you can never have enough cheek pumping. Okay. I think I'll
just sit this down.
Yeah. I'll just get a couple of those.
All right. Someday we'll have a cheek pumping studio.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
I think we need to. I feel like in order for proper cheek pump, you really gotta stick the arms out.
I put mine up here because I trained squatting with the bar so much. I've got muscle memory there.
Okay, so you You got the squat.
Although this
position.
does help because sometimes
This
I
is
fall
balancing.
backwards if I don't do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this works, but
All
right.
So
one day, one day, one day. Oh, all my life I've been waiting for someone to send me Bob. One day,
Send me
one
Bob.
day, one day.
Oh, now we're getting intricate.
Oh my God. Damn, that's like a savage sex movie right there, man. You're like aggressive.
All right.
Okay. Whew. And I was almost going to combine a second. Oh yeah, we could have done a quick. Nah, that's fine. I thought of another upright thing we could do later, like the white people dancing, maybe. But
White people dancing.
yeah.
I don't know if I can tame my inner ethnicity.
Oh yeah, I forgot to get the beatboxer. We'll have to get that on the break.
Whoa, the beatbox.
The beatbox. How do you do that? Accent is so subtle with the tongue. What is your tongue doing with that Irish accent?
You have to be very relaxed.
Oh, relaxed, very relaxed.
Let's just say just a wee hint of it.
Just a wee hint of it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a severely watered down Scottish is how I obtain it.
Oh, I thought we were doing Scottish. We're doing Irish?
Irish? Did you say Scottish?
I don't know.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. They're all British.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So, what does the cat say?
Meow, 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 meow.
Correct. There's no, this is funny because we have Amazon in our home, and I'm not too keen on it. There's a lot of AI happening in the home, and I feel like it may be an issue. But Alexa is ever present. Manny has like a little pod, I guess. It's just for him to listen to music. Because he's like me, he's very music motivated.
Oh, good.
It helps calm him.
Yeah, me too.
Gives him something to focus on. But we have 3 in this small area that we occupy.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in the living/bedroom. There's one in the kitchen. And then there's one in his room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Alexa gets pretty wild with her recommendations. There's children's songs. And this one is obviously, a parody, I guess, or a spin-off of What Does the Fox Say? But it's What Does the Cat Say? But when I first heard it, this person has a weird accent or is like making such a weird voice noise that it sounds like cock. What does the cat say? I was like, excuse me. I was like, Alexa, stop. He's like, Dad, I like that. He's like, it's the cat. I was like, cat? Oh, okay. I guess we're good here.
That's funny.
Yeah, you gotta watch what she plays.
There was a whole debacle on YouTube children's content over the last 5 or 6 years. There was this like finger family videos. There was all these crazy, I won't go into it now because there's videos you can look up, but like if you just search finger family YouTube children videos, it's like this
finger family,
dude. There's like, they were like,
dude,
it's a dark children's entertainment hole, but like they had like, I can't even remember now. It was just the weirdest animations. They would take like all the popular kids cartoon stars like Elsa and Shrek and like whoever else and just put them into an animation and then be like, oh, secret love between Luigi and like Samus and Zelda, and like
secret
or like they wouldn't say that, but like that's what would be sort of happening. Like it was really just weird.
Yeah.
Then so YouTube enabled these things where like you have to check, is this made for kids, yes or no? And then they went on top of that and like added flagging for like 18-year-old videos. So it's basically a 2-part system now. I'm not going to go too into the details, but it was a whole thing. And yeah, because basically there's so many kids that they're being babysat by screens that there's a big boom in like children's content.
Yes,
take advantage of them.
For saying that, because we willingly try to mitigate screens of all kinds. Like we keep TV to the weekends and we try and keep it to like maybe an hour or 2.
Wow, that's so good.
A day.
Wow,
on the
that's awesome.
weekends.
That's awesome. That's
And
amazing.
Manny is like, I want to play video games. Like all of his friends are playing video games. Lorelai and him both see a sitter, and it was no part of the sitter, but the sitter's ex bought their child a phone, and he is 9 years old, and he's using a smartphone. I did not have even a regular flip cell phone until I was like well into my teens, and it was like for emergencies only. It was just, it's crazy. Like I guess it's kind of good that kids are into tech or whatever. It opens up doors, but at the same rate, there's a lot of mind numbingness going on.
Yeah, an hour a day is pretty good. I remember when I was a kid, my all I wanted to do was sit inside and watch TV. I hated being outside.
Yeah.
And I remember just like being outside and like asking my mom, when's the Disney afternoon gonna come on? It's not for 3.5 hours, James. And I'd be like, I'm ready to die. Like,
Yeah,
not
all
really,
I had
but
growing up was literally Saturday morning
me
cartoons.
too. I had to wake up
and
at
I
like
had, like,
5:30.
an hour or two, and that was
Dude.
all I was allowed. We used to
It
get
was
shipped
so
outside
good. It was so, yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
We weren't allowed inside.
My parents did really good with me when I was younger with our first TVs, but when we got our second computer, I basically never went outside again. But when I was growing up until like 15, 16, they did a good job. Like that's a pretty good early development period to keep fairly away from screens for the most part.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Although I did definitely retard myself socially by becoming addicted to computers from like age 16 to now. But that's
You're coming
story.
out on the other end. You're aware of it. You're making the progress, branching out, going to the bogs, meeting the folks.
Yeah.
Let's see how these noise canceling microphones work with old Papa Bear.
It doesn't look too bad on the thing.
Riding the lawnmower.
All right, I think I had something else about that. Kids, screens. Oh yeah, I remember when I was giving guitar lessons to this kid. I'm still new to like, what do you do with kids and cell phones? Like, how do you navigate that? Like, what's a good age? Like, obviously, you don't want to give like a 5-year-old like an iPhone 13 Max,
Right.
like melt their brain.
Mm.
But like, what age is it? Like, I never realized that whole like thing was like so delicate until I was giving guitar lessons to this kid, and I don't know how old he was, but he was like, I don't know, like this tall.
Yeah.
And I was like showing him how to tune the guitar, and I was like, oh, you can just get a free tuner on your phone. I'm like, do you have a phone? He's like, no, I don't. I was like, oh.
Height is not an accurate way to gauge age. Just saying.
I mean, he was probably like 10, 12 maybe.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, parents don't give little kids phones. That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a good idea. I'm like, I never thought about that before, but that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I think you should wait until they're at least pubescent.
Yeah, I would say like 15, 16, maybe get like a flip phone with like calls and texts.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 20 something, a full-fledged, melt your mind, be addicted forever phone.
Pocket Bible.
There was that. It's like a troll. Could he be any closer?
Yeah, he's definitely like, just get right up there.
Let me get the wood chipper out. Got to break this cement down with the jackhammer. Another funny thing. They keep going out of my mind. I need to quit the weed, dude. It's the worst. What are we talking about?
Kids
phones. Oh yes. Oh yeah. There's this one guy online who said that like, if you turn your phone, if you have trouble, I've never had trouble staying off my phone. Besides YouTube, like I'll have YouTube on all day, but I'll never be like scrolling social media and like texting and like all this. Like the most I'll do is like have a video on or to watch or listen to in the background, which isn't great, but I've never been like had the addiction of like needing to hold my phone and do things with it all the time. Yeah. But for people that do, I heard that you can turn your phone on black and white mode and it takes away like 75% of that impulse. Because so much of the reward is from like all the colors,
right?
Like, looking so like nice. Because like you can still get anything done you need to do for pretty much with black and white.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
like
less addictive.
I'm a 15-minute burst person when it comes to the addiction, and it's just for memes. Like my
Nice.
social
Yeah.
media is just I'm there only to have a good time.
Well, that's
Like,
probably
I
better
don't
for
want
your
to hear
health.
about other people's drama.
I almost want to look at memes now because someone sent some funny ones. That's actually good for your health. 15-minute meme break a day, dude. That's got to be an overall health benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Lowers the stress, lowers the cortisol.
Mm-hmm. Keeps me
Mm.
smiling.
Makes me smile.
Yeehaw.
Let me look at this meme that Ayla sent. Ayla is this new girl from Europe that joined our degenerate voice chat. She's
You
pretty.
have Bob in the team?
There's this hilarious video that what's this guy's? He's like a little cat icon for his YouTube icon, and he makes all these funny videos that are about Discord. And one of them is like a girl joined the Discord, and like everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's a girl! It's a girl!" Like PM the mods. Like we've heard there's a girl here. Like we need proof. Like voice.
See, that was what I was gonna ask you, is because I'm like not heavy into like online what would you call that, like groups or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, like, obviously if it's just the boys shooting the shit all the time, there's gotta be some. Do you find yourself like mitigating what you say, or you just
No,
no?
because
Good
a
for
lot
you.
of girls like how guys are naturally, and they want to be just like hanging out with the dudes.
Nice. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I feel like part of me would probably filter myself a
a
little bit.
little bit here and there. I mean, with one, not much, maybe like 3 to 5% filter. Like the vast majority is still totally fine. Just like here and there, when you get into like the deepest, most grotesque, you know. But here's a meme Isla sent the other day. Learn how to make sushi. First, delicately roll up the rice and salmon in the nori seaweed, and then, fuck, you ruined it. Just like you ruin everything. The sushi is like your life. You do everything wrong. You start a bunch of things and never finish anything. Nobody loves you.
That went dark.
Dude, her sense of humor is like exactly like mine. I have this whole collection of memes that are about like giving up on life, but not in a sad way. Which is funny because like that one was kind of like in a sad way. But I've got a whole bunch of memes where it's like, I'm giving up, but I'm like stoked about it. It's great. I'll have
Yeah, share that.
to write that down.
See,
So I
that's
can
the
get
thing
something
about
to...
comedy, is it's so multifaceted. There's like sometimes, like when I was younger, I remember my stepsister and stepbrother used to like beat each other up,
Yeah.
but like they would laugh from the pain. There's something funny about not being defeated.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like a visceral reaction. Like, I'm not gonna show you I'm weak, so I'm gonna laugh instead. And then there's also like morbid humor.
Yes.
It's like that's so fucked up. I can't just do anything but laugh, because if I don't laugh, then I'll go into an existential crisis.
Yeah, no, morbid humor is fun. All right, so I was at the post office the other day.
Get out. Post office? You? No way.
Dude, this lady. So I go in, and there's like 3 people standing in line. Well, there's like 2 people in line.
Mm-hmm.
The second person is like 10 feet back with a mask on, and there's barely any room.
Now, in this day and age?
It's fine. I'm not judging, dude. And then there's like not much room left behind him because he's standing so far back. And behind him is like this lady like working on something to mail on a desk. And there's like 2 or 3 feet behind them both in that corner. So I have to like squeeze in back behind them to like be in line. And so I'm standing there. And dude, so this lady's butt is facing me.
Just
that's preparing
you.
this mail or whatever. This sound, I wish I had recorded it. I'd never heard one like this. It sounded like kind of like a zipper, like kind of like that. And I was like, no way that was real. I was like, that was the craziest fart noise. It was like it's like you're ripping something open. Like when people say they ripped one.
How old was she?
Middle to older age.
Yeah, the gas is just it. There's the great thing about extremely old people, like getting towards the end of their life. They just lose all care. They are
Yeah.
very blunt, and they
Yeah.
just like anything that happens with the body is just fair game. Some of them get walking farts. Just each footstep is accommodated
I had
by
that
a
once.
flatulence.
Yeah, old lady once walked by me and farted and coughed at the same time to try to cover it up. It's like,
You wonder if she shit herself.
it was so funny.
Losing it all.
But then like the guy gets done and the next guy goes up and does his mail thing. And then I go and like mail my thing. And I'm like, oh good, at least it didn't smell. Then I'm walking back out through the post office and I get one good like mouthful of it. And I'm like, fuck! She fucking got me, dude. I thought I was gonna get away. I thought I was gonna like get out quick enough. Or maybe it wasn't gonna smell, but dude, she got me.
No.
Dude, that zipper fart, it was like
You got some.
it was like tight. Like, dude, it was crazy. never heard one.
You should just turn around and be like, I just tasted fart particles. Like
That would be
part
so
of your
funny.
anus is in my mouth right now.
Yeah, I was not very happy about that part. I wrote down John, so I didn't do any more research, but there's tons of gold of him online. Okay, being sultry is funny. What does sultry mean?
I don't know. See, there's a lot of words that are like just commonplace, so I feel like I use them and I have an idea of what they mean, but
I think
not fully.
I think sultry is like sexy adjacent.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
all
I
I
like.
know.
A sultry voice is one that kind of hints at
Diction.
promiscuity.
One of the air, hot and humid. The sultry late summer weather had brought. Okay, it's hot and humid, hot and heavy.
Yes,
You know,
okay, that's exactly the
suggesting or expressing a passionate or strongly sexual nature or attraction.
Yeah. So like Barry White has a sultry voice.
Okay, so that makes sense because the original meaning is hot.
Yeah.
Hot and humid. Okay. So that's that. Being sultry is funny. And then I wrote down being sassy and sultry is funny.
Sass. Love
Maybe.
the sass. The lads love the sass.
It's like, I got those goods. I can't do it.
Got that good.
Oh, God, I can't do that. It's too embarrassing.
No, just do it.
How do you do a sassy, sultry?
Sassy, sultry. I don't know if those two can coexist.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to run that by the thinker.
You could be like egotistical about it, and I guess that's where the sass would stem from. Like, girl, you know you want some of this.
See, it is funny.
Oh boy, where did that come from? Who am I? That was like post-orgasmic disgust. What part of me just created this?
Oh shit.
We could test the mics.
Yeah.
See how far I can get.
Oh yeah.
See if you can hear me urinating.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Why me?
Navigating.
To the
We're
window.
navigating James's house. There's his papa.
To the stop.
He's on the mower.
Why
Going up
to
the stairs. There's an hour of burnt
One
English.
day.
Closing the
Yes, I've been
door.
waiting for.
Lock.
One day.
I get a prime view while I'm being a pop on the mower.
One day.
Pops putting around.
So we realized the other day, Christopher Walken?
Yes.
Can you impersonate him at all?
A little bit, but only like known movie clips. I don't think I know his speech patterns well enough
just-
to.
Pauses between words. Like that, kind of.
But yeah.
That's the best I could. It's not perfect, but that's. Let me call my uncle, because this. Sinatra, fly me to the moon,
Yeah.
take me to the stars.
Yeah.
I
like Sinatra.
I was doing that. I was down at my uncle's, and he was like, I had this idea. I was like, dude, do that, but Christopher Walken, fly me to the moon.
Fly me to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you got it. We don't even have to call him.
The fuck you, Hulk.
Take me to the stars.
I wish I knew more of that song so I could.
The next part is
keep
like
going.
something Mercury and Mars. We got to do a whole Christopher Walken Fly Me to the Moon at some point. They sound similar, Walken and Sinatra. Walken just has a bit of a pause in his voice, but besides that, they're very similar.
Yeah.
It's a funny spin-off. I think that would be good. Fly me to the moon. Take me to the... Okay. This next story be a little controversial.
Ooh,
but you know what?
I get.
I'm speaking my mind because I'm a strong, independent white boy. And I don't need no YouTube. Well, I do. Well, if they get rid of us...
Please monetize.
Yeah. We're not getting monetized, but... no, we're going to... It's... as being a comedy podcast, we're allowed to take liberties, basically, because people know we're joking. So, even though some people may get upset and like clip things out of context,
it's a joke.
I'm not gonna kowtow to their little demands. I'm gonna stick with my strong.
Stick to your guns.
So listen to this. So secret
agent man
retard. Did I tell you this
one?
I didn't tell you. I don't think I told you this one yet.
Secret Asian man. No, you haven't.
Do you remember that Secret Asian Man song that was on Napster in the 2000s? Secret Asian Man.
Oh,
Secret
yes. Yeah.
Asian Man. There was so much awesome music and riffs being shared.
Yeah, lots of parodies.
Oh, man.
Combo number 5 instead of Mambo number 5. It was Chinese food.
If I had realized what a golden era it was for file sharing songs and music and mixes in the 2000s, that never would happen again. I would have saved so many hard drives full. There were so many awesome remixes and collaborations, and like there was so much creativity and awesome stuff coming out of that era before the public.
Before Lars from Metallica.
Well, when file sharing started, the public didn't really know it was that it was like really bad. So everybody was just kind of doing it and was like, "Oh, this is cool." But then when it became like publicly unacceptable, then like most people stopped doing it.
All right.
And that's where all the sharing stops, unfortunately.
That's pirating.
Yeah. But okay, so it's funny to be just slightly retarded, but to be good enough at acting normal and fooling people into thinking you're normal until you make one just small mistake that gives it away. Isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah.
Like, so I was at a festival, and when I set up my tent, there was like this lady across from me that had set up her tent, and her van was kind of like slightly disheveled, which was like my first kind of hint. It was like no big deal. People have disheveled vans, especially at a festival, like no big deal. She had like seats set up. She was like, "Oh, come over." I was like, "Okay." I had a seat. She introduced me to like some people there because she had been going there for years and years, and it was my first time, and she was nice, and she's introducing me to people. I was like, "Oh, this is great. Like, she's nice. She's a cool friend that introduced herself to me right when I got here, and now I know people. Like, this is cool." And so I'd see her throughout the days of the festival, like, hey, like waving and stuff. And then one day, at one of the stages where a band was performing, there was like a small dance floor. And I noticed her dancing. And so this is what gave it away. Because there's something about, and like my uncle was retarded, so I'm allowed to say this. We all called him retarded our whole life. That's what he was. Like it wasn't controversial. Like, this is my uncle, he's retarded.
No, yeah, but before PC political correctness.
I literally had a retarded uncle my whole life. He died like 10 years ago, but like it was never a PC thing. Like that's what he was. That's what everybody called him. But anyway, so she's like, so there's something that retards have in common, which like I feel bad saying that, but like they often will hunch a little bit and have like a little bit of like a
slack jaw.
Oh yeah, and like kind of like some fat around here.
Yeah.
Just kind of they're never like upright and like super proper looking. And so anyway, she's on the dance floor and she's like dancing like this. And like, I was like, oh, there's something not quite right with that one. And then like, she like goes to get off the dance floor and like, she gets off like this. And I'm like, okay, that's definitely not like, I'm like, I think she's got a tinge of the tard in there. But it's just funny though, because like, dude, it's just so funny being like just slightly tarded enough that like, you can pull it off to like convince people you're normal. I think that's funny.
How old was she?
She must have been 40s or 50s.
Because that's how my like great grandmother used to dance. Like
she was like middle aged. I'd say 40s.
Maybe,
maybe 50s.
So not warranting the.
It's like that slightly tarred face and like the hunch and like the the coordination, the physical coordination is what gives it away. It's just not quite there. It's like a little hunchy and a little skuttly. And I'm like, she got me this whole time. Now I know. It's like, because then everything before that made sense. I was like, oh, that's why this and that and that. It's like all the little things that like didn't really give it away, but were kind of like,
nice.
you know. Anyway, I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Being like undercover secret retard. Girl, secret retard girl. That's how she was dancing, dude.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. This just came out of the blue to me. I get sometimes these good inspirations. It's funny if you hear somebody but you can't see someone, and you can't tell if they're talking to their wife or their dog. Like, oh hey, look who it is. Come here. Sit down. You know? Are you hungry? Like,
It sounds like a bad relationship. Like commands are being shouted.
no, like, hey.
Sit.
Yeah.
Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
That reminds me of another funny thing of like, imagine you can hear two people behind a wall, but you can't see them, and you're like in a hotel or something, and you hear like,
Oh, it's escalating.
that would be.
It sounds like two Muppets.
Yeah.
I get like Beaker vibes from the what I assume is female, and then who would the other be? Who's that? Who's that big Sasquatch looking dude with the teeth? I don't know. Comments. Put them in there, people. Tell us who that is. Who that big Muppet is.
All right, let's do a quick skit on the last one here.
A skit.
You be the guy that we can't hear what he's saying, and I'll be the girl behind a wall that you can't see them, but you can hear them.
All right, let me get into character.
And should we have characters? You're a Hell's Angel biker.
Okay, that helps.
And I am Miss America. I can't. This is too stupid. I can't do it.
Looking at you makes it so much harder.
That's what she said.
Wait!
Oh! Dude, that waveform is blown the fuck out.
Yes, I love it. That's how people know where to laugh.
All right. Okay, I've got PTC and WPD.
PTC?
You know PTC.
You down with PTC? Yeah, you know me. Parent-teacher conference?
Pump those cheeks, bro.
Oh, close. Way off.
And WPD is white people dancing.
White people dancing.
So this is actually connected. I'll connect all these topics. A thrusting workout machine or thrusting workout in general would be not only be hilarious, but it'd be good for lower back issues. So let's see if we can get some white.
I feel like most exercise, the funnier you look, the more beneficial it is.
Okay, this might be a little bit too much tempo.
Like when we pump the cheeks, we're essentially taking a dump. Just like a real quick dump.
All right. There's white people dancing and thrusting.
Together. Oh, wow. I can't. Like
Come on, bro.
It's like a car crash. I can't. I don't know if I can. I'm too good at dancing. Secretly. I'm a secret dancer.
Thrust it, Bray. Yeah.
Just convulse. That's it. If you can feel your balls jiggle, you're doing it right. Oh, do you remember party boying?
Yes. I remember
That's
that.
essentially what we're doing right now.
All right, now let's just white people dance for a minute.
Well, can we get a little bit of the white tart?
This is the secret.
T-Rex
We
hand.
have a new dance. It's the secret retard. It's like this. In your face. I feel so bad, dude.
All right, enough. Okay, the hula hoop. The hula hoop. Hey.
This is so dumb. You're like, hey, you here now. That's so dumb. I can't do it anymore. But no, we'll have to do. It's great exercise, really. That's one of the only ways I've ever been
Acting
able.
a fool is great exercise.
Dancing is one of the only ways I've ever been able to exercise and like not hate it. It's fun sometimes. You get some good tunes going.
You know what I like?
What?
It's easy to nail down. Is the old R&B little move, the little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. I had some.
It's a very Backstreet Boy move.
I was-
Backstreet Boys are slowly becoming integrated into the
Wait,
lives.
there's this Jack Black that I learned. I watched a video. He's really good at dancing. I forget what it was, but I had it. It was like, what was he doing? He's something with like throwing this arm that he was so good at. Oh, now you reminded me of that. Yeah, I had some moves going a few years ago when I was practicing a little bit. I was starting to learn some.
I used to know. I don't know if this is gonna be in frame, but I used to know like the beginning of trip walking.
Really?
Yeah, and so the secret is to always be on heel and then toe with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of getting serious now.
Hell yeah.
You can kind of oh no.
Nice.
I'm so rusty. I haven't done it in like 15 years, but yeah,
Dude,
that's like the
I used to
secret
do that.
is
Dude, you know how easy that is to do on ski boots?
I bet it is easy.
I used to walk on my toes and heels all the time on ski boots. It's super easy.
Something like
So
that.
like I would do that exact thing of like moving to the side, left and right with my anyway, but oh man. Oh yeah, it was throwing. That's what it was. He was throwing. It's fun. Like once you get the feeling of like throwing your weight around the right way. Jack Black is so funny. This is it. You can kind of like I think that's it. I'll have to look it up, but it was fun.
I feel like the key is to, and this is obvious with like the lawnmower, picture something physically and carry it out, like the lawnmower.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or the sprinkler.
Yeah.
That's all dancing is.
I want to start, man. I wish we had more free time because I would love to do another channel with you of like working on cars. Cause I've been doing that. That's really one of my biggest passions, and like it's almost impossible for me to like. It's so hard to do just to get the work done itself, but like videoing and editing on top of that. Like if somebody else was there to help video and stuff, it's like I can't do it all by myself. But there's that, and like we could also do a white person dancing channel, and I've got so many ideas.
Yeah.
Because like
my life choices have expended my free
I
time.
know. Oh,
It's for the good though. Raising children is fun.
Okay.
You know.
I've got a good one. Sorry, I'm too excited. I'm cutting you off again.
That's okay. It's okay. You got the parent-teacher conferences. I'm sure I'm going to start running into after-school activities.
So there's this.
The full-time wastewater and water operator job.